Hello everyone, Ismail is here. Today we're going to learn about lesson 9.1, solving equations by taking square root. You can find all the lessons on my website. Now, let's start here first with exploring the square root. Now, what is this exploring the square root? First of all, now we have a product property radicals. What's a product radical of radicals? As we can see here, when we have a two numbers or two variables or number with the variables, multiplied with each other, we can split the square root into square root of a times square root of b. So as we can see here, we can split a and b, each one by the same square root. Okay, as in this example, 36 square roots. I know first, what are the factors of square 36? We know that the 36 we have 6 and 6, we have 9 and 4, we have 2 and 13, and we have more. Now, you can write the final answer, which is 6, because it's already repeated, so the answer is 6. Or we can explain what we can use the product property, because sometimes use the product property radicals. We can find the factors of 36. So what are the factors of 36 is 9 and 4. When you're checking the factors, always write, take a factors that you can find a square root for them. Means, what are the square root of 2? There is no square root of 2. What are the square root of 13? There is no square root of. But what are the square root of 9 and 4? I can't find square root of 9 and 4. So as we can see here, let's rewrite 36 as 9 and 4. So 9 and 4 under the square root. Now we can use the product property. So let's split the square root 9 and 4 until square root of 9, square root of 4. What is the square root of 9? It's 3. What is square root of 9? Is 2. 3 times 2 is equal 6. Now, this is the answer. Another property, which is the quotient property. The quotient property, as you can see here, when we have, it's similar to this one, but here it's division. A divided by B, both of them under square root. Can we split the square root into the numerator and into the denominator? So both numerator and denominator can take the square root. Look at this example. We know that 0.16 is 16 over 100, which is 16%. Now 16%, we can split the square root using the product rule, square root of 16 and square root of 100. What is the square root of 16? Sorry? What is the square root of 16? Square root of 16 is equal 4. What's the square root of 100? Is square root of 100 is 10. So as we can see here, 4 over 10 is equal 0.4. And don't forget the negative for sure in every step. Now, let's go here and find square root of this. So if you can't find the square root directly, just write the answer. As you can see here, because it's saying positive and negative, so positive, negative 7. Now, what is the square root of 25? It's 5, positive or negative 5. Now, what's the square root of 12? So square root of 12, we can't find square root. So now let's find the factors of a 12 that we can factor them, that we can find square root for one of them. 2 and 6 and 4 and 3. As we can see here, 2 and 6, we can't have a square root for one of them, so just cancel them. 3 and 4, I can find square root for 4. So I have to take now 4 and 3. So now let's split 12 into 4 and 3. So it will be square root, sorry, let's split now square root for 4. Square root of 4 times square root of 3. Now, what is the square root of 4? It's 2. What's square root of 3? It's square root of 3. So this is the answer. 2 times square root of 3. And don't forget the positive and negative. Okay, always positive and negative. Same thing here. Now, let's split the square root of 16 over square root of 9. What's the square root of 16 is 4. What's square root of 9 is, is 3. Now, don't forget the positive and negative. This is the final answer. So this is how we can find the square root. Now, this lesson is so easy because let me give you an example. If I have example 2x plus 5 equals 6x. How can I solve this equation? To solve this equation, this linear equation, negative 2x for both sides. So 5 is equal 4x. Now divide by 4. So x is equal what? 5 over 4. We've stopped here because x is only 5 over 4. How about if I tell you x is square is 5 over 4? How can I solve this? Here, I can't say the answer x squared is 5 over 4. If you say it like this is wrong, don't do that. okay? Because you need to find only x without any things. And as you can see here, because we minus here from this side and we minus from this side, and when we divide also, we divide for both sides. Same thing, when we have the square root, what's the thing that remove this, the square, sorry. If we have a square, so we use the square root for both sides. So square root for both number, they cancel each other. So x is equal square root 5/4. If you keep it like this, I would say it's wrong. Why? Because you have to write positive and negative. Always the square root will have two answer. One is positive and one is negative. If you look here, x squared. So let's take the square root for both sides. Square root of now x squared, square root of 9. So now square root will cancel, so it's remain x equal square positive or negative square root of 3. Same thing here. What's the square root of 24? It's 24. Now you can find the factors of a 24 that can give you 2 square root of 6, and don't forget positive and negative. Now let's start here, solve this equation. 4x squared minus 5 equal 2. If you look to this question for 30 seconds, you understand we need to solve. First, we add 5 for both sides. Then we divide by 4 for both sides. Then we reach to this step here. Now, to remove the square root, I have to square root for both sides. Then I cancel this 2 out, so it's remain x, positive and negative 7/4. Can we simplify one of these, numerator and denominator? Yes, I can simplify 4. And because I can simplify one of them, I have to split the square root and simplify the denominator. So as we can see here, square root of 7 over square root of 4. Square root of 4, it can be x is equal positive or negative square root of 7/2. Now, how about this one? Square root of 8 is positive 8 for both sides. So now 2x squared equal 8. Now divide by 2, divide by 2. So x squared is equal 8/2 equal what? Is equal 4. Now what I have to do, I have to square root for both sides, square root for both sides. So I now remove this one. So x is equal, what's the square root of 4? It's 2. And don't forget positive and negative. Now, let's here we have some examples. You can try solve all of these examples. I will just give you a hint here. When you in the question number 7, when you minus 6 from both sides, minus 6, so the question will be negative 1/3 x squared equal negative 26. So now how you can simplify this? You can divide by negative, but here you can multiply both sides by the reciprocal, negative 3/1, and on the other side negative 3/1. So this one will cancel each other. So x squared equal negative 26 times negative 3, which is equal positive 78. Now use square root to find the answer. Now let's go to the second part, solving ax plus b to the power of 2 equals c. Now if you look to this question, how can I solve this? To solve this one, we know that this bracket is one part together. You can't split the bracket because there's a square here. Because there's a square, you can't split the bracket. So you have to deal with the bracket as one part. So as we can see here, to remove the square, okay, to remove the square, I have to do what? I have to square root for both sides. So remove the square with this one. So it's remain x plus 5 equal positive or negative 36. So as we can see, what's the square root of 36? Is positive or negative 6. Now, because I have positive or negative 6, so one x6 is positive, and here one is x6 is negative. So you add your negative 5, negative 5, negative 5, negative 5. So this cancels out. So x is equal 1, and the other is x is equal negative 11. Look to this one here. So the first step, we square root for both sides. Square root here, and 64 square root. Now square root will cancel, so it's remain x minus 7, okay, equal. What's the square root of 64? It's 8. Now we have two solutions. Sorry, don't forget negative and negative. So first one, x minus 7 equal positive 8. X minus 7 equal negative 8. Now you can solve them. Positive 7, positive 7. You cancel this out. So x is equal 8 plus 7 is equal 15. Here, positive 7, positive 7. You cancel this two out. X is equal 15. Sorry, not 15. Negative 1. Okay? Negative 1. So that's the answer. Now, here we have another questions when we have more one step before you square root. In the previous question, we wasn't have a number before this bracket. If you go back, see, there is no number here. So I just started square root. But here, I have a number. So I have to isolate this part alone. Okay? So to isolate this part alone, I have to remove this one before I start. So as you can see here in this example, we have 4. So to remove 4, I have to divide 4 both sides by 4. So I cancel. So now I have this one. Now use square root for both sides. So then you can solve the question. Same thing here. So 2 over 3, you can do this. Divide by 2 over 3. Divide by 2 over 3 for both sides. So you cancel this 2 out. X plus 5 to the power of 2 equal. So when we have the denominator will go up, you multiply it with 36. So as we know that 36 times 3, I think 3 times 36, which is equal 108. Yes, 108 divided by 2, which is equal 54. So x plus 5 to the power of 2 is equal 54. Now use square root for both of them. Square root here, square root of here to remove square root. So x plus 5, which is equal. What's square root of 54? We can't have square root of 54, but we can find the factors. And I think the factor will be positive and negative 54. If you can't find, it's fine. Okay. Or you can keep it like this. Now, one is positive, one is negative. So now x plus 5 equal square root of 54. And x plus 5 equal negative square root of 54. Now you can minus 5 for both sides. Minus 5 minus 5. So x is equal negative 5 plus square root of 54 because I can't add the square root with the number. Same thing here, x is equal negative 5 negative square root 50, sorry, square root of 54. 54. So this is the two answer for this question. Now, if you need any help, you can contact me. Here are some questions. If you need, I will do a question for you. Example like this one. So divide by 5, divide by 5. So you can divide this out. So, and this one is equal 3. So now x minus 9 to the power of 2 equal 3. Now use square root for both sides. So you cancel this out. So x minus 9 is equal positive or negative square root of 3. So now we do the same thing. X minus 9 equal positive square root of 3. And here x minus 9 equal square root of negative square root of 3. Now, we do the same thing, positive 9, sorry, positive 9 here, positive 9 here, or positive 9 here, positive 9 here. Now, you cancel this out, so x is equal, I told you we can't add them together, so x9 plus 3, and here x9 minus square root of 3. So that's the answer, and this is the lesson 8.9. It's easy, fast to understand. I hope you understand this one. If you have any question, contact me. Thank you. Have a good day. Bye-bye.